Okay. So, should I get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Right. I am just gonna do this. This is fine. Hello, bonus edition. Are we, like, gonna read stuff?
If you want to read it.
Let me be a Let's Player.
I like that.
So a
Okay,
little,
sure.
a
Or we
little,
just keep this on the screen for like 5 minutes to let people read it.
We just all mute
Yeah.
and
Sit
watch
there
a
in
clock.
silence.
a little confession about how I play adventure games in general is I'll read something like this because I know this is important. But when there's like pamphlets and things, I'll see like, oh, there's something about birds. I'll come back to that if I need it.
Yeah. I feel like I do that sometimes too. Like when I can tell that there's information that I'm gonna need later, I'll just be like, okay, I'll remember that's here. Nancy, I got your contact info through a friend of mine, Moira Chisholm. I think you did some good sleuthing work with her in Scotland not too long ago. Who's taking the next one?
Currently, I'm in Iceland in a small town called Skiprop. When I first arrived, the Herkerjurgerjur was beached nearby with a long-standing rumor about a treasure concealed somewhere within this old merchant ship. The ship is pretty important to the citizens of Skiprop, and they hold a festival every year to celebrate the year it crashed on their shores. Why celebrate a shipwreck? Don't ask me.
I helped to restore the ship along with my business partner Magnus, and then we skipping that as well under two conditions. I would be entitled to a portion of any treasure found, and two, we couldn't begin a formal search until this year's festival was finished. We doled the ship up, all pretty, polished the hull, and Magnus planned to sail it in to commemorate the festival's starting date.
When the ship arrived, empty. No Magnus. So no sign of a struggle. Nothing. He's just gone. I think Magnus is up to something shady. I think he found the treasure, and now I want you to find him. I've booked you on the next flight into Reykjavik. A car will take you to Skipbrot. I'll meet you in town. Bon voyage, Dagny.
Bon voyage.
Phew, finally made it to town.
Right.
Oh, it's freezing out here. Hi there. Are you Miss Silva?
Finally, she arrives. I think I'm half made of ice at this point. So, you're Nancy, huh? I'm Dagny. I'm part of the ship restoration team, the one who called you in. You can call me Boss Lady if you want. Or my queen. Or Dagny, whatevs.
Let's go with Dagny for now and work our way up to the big stuff. Can I help?
Yes. Find my missing, skeeving, backstabbing business partner, Magnus.
I'm sensing you're a little stressed out about this.
Ugh. I'm so mad I've been an inch away from setting this town on fire.
On fire? Are you okay?
What?
Oh, just the fire comment. I thought...
Metaphors, Nancy. Keep up with me here. So listen. Right now I'm focused on this town, Skibrot. There's this ship in town that was being rebuilt. Real old, 18th century. I offered to sponsor the rebuilding project to get the ship floating again. Mostly because I'm super nice and cool like that. But also because there's a rumor about a treasure on board worth millions. Magnus, the man in charge of the project, and my business partner promised we'd find it and split the earnings.
But he's gone missing now?
Yep. And left me looking like a fool.
Wait, already? I just want to say how fluid they've made the animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
And it's
And
like,
yeah.
yeah. What were you going to say,
And
Cameron?
like you can see the lighting there through the back of the jacket and everything.
I know, the lighting is so good.
Or-
And it's just so cool because it's like, just because of my computer, you know, you can kind of see the freeze frames where it's switching to a new animation video. But it's just so good how they've kind of paused it like mid movement, you know, so it just makes it look so natural.
Yeah, I remember being like astounded. I didn't even learn this that long ago, maybe a couple years ago, that like every single part of dialogue is its own video. I was like,
Yeah.
what? That's so many videos.
I know, and the like, and again, like the longer dialogues, like the one that Dagny just had, I saw there was like 5 different videos just in that one chunk of text.
Also, you notice the blinking animation at the moment. Like, obviously, in the older games, it's just their eyes that blink. But here you
Right.
can see she kind of moves her head every now and again as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm like, wow,
I know, in her
I could
eyes a
probably
little
like
bit.
incorporate that into mine somehow, maybe.
I know, it just looks so good.
I know I'm just sitting here just going
He
gaga over the
disappeared sometime before our
graphics.
ship
I
crashed into the
know.
harbor. They say he must have fallen in the water. But the guy sails for a living. You know what sailors don't do? Drown.
I get it. You think he ran off with the gold then?
After enough time in the biz, a girl knows when she's being backstabbed. If he did find the treasure, I need you to track down Magnus and make him play fair.
And if I find the treasure, I'll find Magnus.
Yes. The key to finding the treasure is learning about that ship.
So everything's interconnected. Sounds like I've got my work cut out for me. Can I take a look at the ship?
Technically, yes.
Awesome. How do I get on board?
By not being me, apparently. Elizabeth controls the ship, and she hates my guts. She removed the gangway to my ship that I paid for.
Did she give you a reason?
Oh, something about her family line and ancient blood feuds and murders and, you know, normal boring stuff. Talk to Soren, the festival organizer. He'll make sure she lets you on.
What do people in town think about Magnus's disappearance?
They're all like, ooh, the ocean is super dangerous in the winter, and ooh, hypothermia and blah blah blah. You know, Icelander stuff.
But without a body, you're still convinced he faked his death.
Yep, which apparently doesn't take a lot of work in Iceland.
How'd you meet Magnus?
I heard about the rumor of the treasure through my connections. Then I approached him. He's a hard guy to pin down, that Magnus. Turns out he's been looking for the treasure for years. I just happened to come in at an opportune moment.
What would Magnus do with the treasure?
Desperately wants to buy his own ship. He's a ship guy. Ship guys are like that.
So the ship he helped rebuild isn't his?
We funded it, but it's town property.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
The non sequiturs are so good.
Yeah, and then these
It is. Yeah.
idle animations she's doing as well are very cool.
Yes.
And like, yeah, these are good characters for like 9 years ago, but I'd say they're still good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really
Definitely.
surprised how well this holds up. Like, I don't think I've played it since it came out, and it looks good to me.
Yeah. Her I know. I would love to do some form of mocap for our game, but I don't know how fucking likely that is. Sorry. Yeah.
How many frames can you see her in? Like, there? Wow. That's pretty ambitious for... Yeah, look at that. There, too. Look, there she is.
She's still there, but I think she's just still for
She's
this one
still at
because
that.
it's far
Yeah, that's what I
away.
did for mine, too. Yeah, I have... Since I didn't plan ahead of time and I didn't know what I was doing, I just have characters you can see in literally 20 different frames. It's horrible.
Has she
Oh,
just disappeared in the frame that you're in now? I
she's
think
still
she
there.
might not be there.
She's
Is she
Oh
moving!
my
there?
gosh, she's moving!
She's still moving! I know, and wow, think too about like the complexities of whenever she's not there. Like they have to, they had to
Yeah.
code it so that she only was there in all these frames at the right times.
Yeah, I understand.
That's so fair.
I mean, that's smart, though. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Wow.
If this section of the original ship was removed, then maybe others were too.
Let's climb on top of the historical artifact.
Hi there. I'm looking for Soren.
You must be Nancy. I'm Soren, the organizer of the Ancestors Festival. I run the Culture Center here in Skiprot.
Nice to meet you. Can you help me get onto the ship?
Yeah.
Ah, the Herlichide. Is Elizabeth not manning the gangway?
The gangway's missing, unfortunately.
Oh, dear. Well, that's highly unusual. I'll take care of it straight away for you. Elizabeth is a rose, truly. But she does have thorns.
What do you think happened to Magnus?
I admit I haven't the faintest idea. That man's mind is a hive of mysteries, an enigma, an impenetrable den.
So you two never really talked?
An understatement. Why, the man hardly spoke 10 words to me the entire time I knew him. I do hope he's all right, though. If he were to turn up, say, less than alive, it would spell bad news for me. I'm already disliked, and it would only show the others how easy it is to make someone disappear.
What is this place?
This is my battle station, the place where I endeavor to fight my way through the thickest mysteries of Icelandic history. Here, confusing ancient shipwrecks and obscure writings from millennia past are converted into knowledge and truth. Also, I have swords.
So, you're a historian, archaeologist?
A bit of both. I dabble. I spent some years at Harvard pursuing my doctorate in Viking history before returning to Skiprot for research. I'm one of the only few to ever travel in this town. Everyone here should try it sometime. Really shakes up the old bag of prejudices.
I guess that explains why you don't have much of an accent.
Oh, quite.
Tell me about your research.
Sharp things. Ceremonial sharp things. Wedding spears, funeral spears, new baby celebration daggers, birthday axes, congrats bows. Turns out, Vikings have a lot of weapons for every occasion. Nothing says I love you like a new murder tool. Most of these can be found on shipwrecks or near burial sites. Luckily, there are no lack of those in these parts, so I've got plenty of work to do. Old Gudrun over there is my favorite of all. She's a replica, not an original. I use her to knock icicles off the roof.
Bye-bye.
Well, on with it.
How do you guys feel about the change they did for this game where you don't click on the goodbye?
I didn't actually notice that.
I
Yeah, I
hadn't
didn't
noticed
notice
that.
it either.
Really? I agree. I know. I agree, but
I need to match each sail to its name.
I wish I still remembered these off the top of my
Yeah.
head.
You don't think about. Nancy gets shot.
Yeah, I wonder if it's if it's the whole screen or if it's like a section or even a PNG that's animated.
It looks like it might be a PNG, maybe, because it just
Really? Wait, do it. Well, that probably is.
the
But the one where the
button.
ship is moving.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, for mine, like when I have animations that are this size, I pretty much just do it whole screen and then play an MP4.
Yeah, I almost feel like this one is probably just an overlay. Because it looks like it's still a flat screen. They just added the fire and smoke effect. I know, right? It goes all the way up to like here. Hmm.
Although they use their Bink video, which does transparent video, so they
Yep.
technically
Oh,
could
that's true.
do
Oh.
that.
You finish setting up the knot display? You just need to match the images to the knot they create. I do it myself, but I don't have the time.
Sure, leave it to me.
So, okay, so the guy's here, Soren's here to do important research, and his office is the gift shop desk. Yeah.
Okay, gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is clever.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's also one of those subtly educational ones.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
But it's a good thought. Intentions were good. Right. Yeah, I would have to do it with my hands several times over. Let me just grab my piece of rope. The rope that I keep on my table. Hold on. I know I have some of these wrong. Are these flipped?
I think the middle one, you need to swap the second and third. Yeah. Is it? No.
I feel like it's one of. Is it?
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Soren should be happy about this. Gunpowder. Looks like someone wrote a note.
I know. I was gonna be like, can you imagine walking into a cultural center and looking at the displays, and then the person's like, "Hey, can you finish setting that up for me?"
Yeah.
Like,
Now, this is one of the. Yeah, no, one of the kind of hints that I don't like in games or the way a certain puzzle flows is that gunpowder.
I
I
agree.
think, if I remember correctly, that's telling you to look by the gunpowder kegs, and
Yeah.
you can't actually look at them before picking this up. And I don't like that kind of thing because then how as a player, they might like say, well, I've looked there already. Like, this one's obvious. But in
Oh,
other
I
okay.
hate
in other
camera
things,
chopping out
like,
of one
yeah.
of those blades.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
had a problem with it, but I like hearing you explain it. I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah, I prefer to not have it that like something you couldn't look at before in an area you've been to gets unlocked by something else. This one's very obvious, like, oh well, the gunpowder, But I know in some other games I've played, it's been like, I didn't realize that I've unlocked something just by seeing new information.
Yeah, that's fair. I think sometimes it can be necessary, but I get how it's,
Yeah.
not something you want to aim for. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing how, like, JPEG pixelated this is. Well, it's very pixelated. Take my word for it. Mm-mm.
No.
Only one
No.
signature?
Yeah, I've heard of it though.
Ouch. Well, maybe I should sign.
Everything in the gift shop is available for purchase.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, like, obviously.
Yeah. The plague
Yeah.
of adventure games.
Yeah, that's just how, like, every old adventure game is, where it's like, you just have to stumble through it
Yeah.
and click things by accident, and then maybe you'll be able to figure out what you're doing.
Hey!
Oh.
Who let you on
Right.
board? If you're here for the festival, it's cancelled.
I didn't mean to intrude. I'd just like to have a look around, if that's okay. My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a visitor.
I know you're a tourist. We're a town of 300.
I'm not a tourist. I'm here to investigate. Thanks for setting up that gangway for me, by the way.
The gangway was meant for Soren. I didn't know he planned to let strangers on board. Are you with that snake of a woman?
Dagny? Yes, I'm working with her.
If you're after just the gold, I want nothing to do with you. Leave.
Wait, I'm not after any treasure. I just want to help find Magnus.
Magnus?
Look, I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot. Maybe I should start over. My name's Nancy. It's really nice to meet you.
I'm Elizabeth. I run a Misty Skip pub in town. What do you want with Magnus?
Oh, good. So you know him?
That's a question, isn't it? I thought I knew him. Maybe I was wrong.
Were you very close with him then?
No. No, we weren't close. And I want nothing to do with a man.
What do you think happened to Magnus? The current rumor is that he fell overboard.
Do I think he is drowned? Is that what you're asking?
He might have.
I certainly hope so. Some people think he ran off with some old treasure. It may be a coincidence. It may not.
Dagny doesn't think it was a coincidence at all.
So, you've been talking to the others.
Just a bit here and there.
Even if the treasure were real, Magnus wouldn't be able to find it. He's completely oblivious. To the world. To everything. The man lives in a cabin in the mountains. Too lofty to concern himself with human affairs.
Hey, Elizabeth, may I borrow a snowmobile key?
Depends. Are you going to steal it?
Not this time.
Not this time. I think I'd have trouble fitting it into my carry-on luggage.
Here's the key. We have tourists take them every year. I'm watching you. Always use the provided seatbelt. Snow looks soft until you land head first.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
I think the characters in this one are also really well written in general.
Stop it, Cameron. That's literally what I was about to say. I was about to say that I absolutely, well, I was specifically going to say how much I love Elizabeth's character but it's because, like, her emotions feel so, like, real because they're messy.
Yeah.
And, there's, like, so much depth behind her personality. Like, she has this angry exterior, but she's arguably the softest hearted person in the entire game.
Yeah. And like it's subtle storytelling where they're not like actually telling you their feelings, but they're just saying it through the dialogue. So it's kind of through the necessary dialogue giving you the
Exactly.
key, but are you going to return it? Is like she's got some trust issues.
Exactly. It's so nuanced, and I love it. I love it. I love it. What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that. Wow.
I know these are on like pretty much every outdoor screen where you can see the sky, and it's gorgeous. And to think too, they also have the layer of the snow on all the screens too.
What's quite interesting, yeah, with that snow, I've actually seen the texture file for each
Ooh.
snowflake. And what's interesting is
It's
it
a
kind of looks
particle
like a
system.
blurred dot, but it's actually a proper snowflake.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
if you look very closely, you can kind of see it, but that's, yeah.
So wait, it's a particle system and not like a pre-done.
I'm not actually sure if it's a particle system or not. I can't remember. I think Hugh Miller told me whether it was or wasn't. I can't remember.
I feel like
But I
if it
do
was
know
an
that,
individual snowflake, like PNG, it would have to be.
Right. I know.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's so good.
I think it is a particle system.
Wait, go back up one. Go right there. Oh my gosh, it like doesn't. I mean, it doesn't go through the thing. I mean,
I know.
that would look really
That's
weird.
probably a PNG
probably-
layer then.
It's probably a layer. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd never noticed that before, like with the different angles, but that's super, super cool.
Same. Ugh, so freaking good. Oh, can I just say, okay, one of the things that I've been working on in the game flowcharting is like the first conversations you have with everyone, right? And I'm just curious, like, what the process was for you guys, because something that I had the hardest time with was figuring out, like, what information are you gonna have by the time you talk to this person for the first time? You know, because, like, you can learn things from talking to other suspects. It's totally dependent on, like, have you found this yet? Have you talked to this person yet? So it's like, who tells you what for the first time, and how does that play into your conversations with other characters?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
for mine, since they're all kind of isolated from each other, they're not going to be telling you any of the same things because it's not like, oh, these three people know the same information. It's like these three people all know different information. So there's no like overlap. And like, oh, I already learned that from that guy over there. It's like this is a different person with a different
Yeah, no, that is
perspective.
so fair, and that sounds much more convenient design-wise. But
Yeah.
the problem with our game is, well, it's not a problem, but it's made dialogue more difficult, mapping dialogue, is because there's so much town lore, like with the creature legend, and like what parts of the creature legend you learn from who, and so it's like, oh my god, wait, everybody has this information, so how do I justify this person not telling you about it so that you can learn it from this person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I've been working on.
Yeah, I think mine's
This radio
similar to
was-
Julia, where I just tried to not write too many parts where that will happen.
Only Dagny and Magnus have radio keys, apparently.
True. Yeah, that's kind of the angle that I think we're gonna go for in our game, since it is like it's local lore, right? And so we have one person who she's the queen of gossip, right? And so she's going to kind of give you all of the sensationalized rumors and everything. But then we have the other guy who's kind of more like fixated on the deep origin of the legend, and so he'll have a more like he'll have a different approach to the information. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's like super interesting, actually. Like, I don't think people would see it as repeated information because it's telling you so much about the characters just based
Yeah.
on how
Yeah.
they respond.
Yeah, it's character development. Like I think of in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, the different characters' reactions to you telling them like what you saw. If you saw something, sort of otherworldly, you'll see like obviously Tino Balducci's reaction is very different to like Charlena Purcell, and it's all character development.
Yeah, for sure. So I like that we do get to kind of play around with different perspectives on the same story. But yeah, I guess it's mostly just like, who knows what and who tells us what for the first time.
Yeah.
As far as like the objective information.
I think I need to get all the wooden sections pressed
Right.
down.
I just kind of click around what feels right for those puzzles.
I think there's also an Easter egg way of solving that
Oh, is there?
puzzle. Yeah.
Is it like if you do it no, I was going to say the opposite way, but
I can't remember what it is, but I remember like when I was playing it with my friend, he accidentally did that first time.
Oh, really? Real of him.
Magnus seems pretty insistent over this long spiel thing.
Mm-hmm. Every environment in this game, I just go nuts.
Yeah.
I know. Like, y'all do not even know how excited I was for Midnight in Salem.
that's sad.
Wow.
You see how the
It's in pristine condition. Time to
Yeah,
break
like
it.
I remember when I finished Sea of Darkness for the first time and they did the little teaser trailer, I literally had the thought that it was the most excited I'd been for a new Nancy Drew game since like Thornton Hall. Yeah.
I need to figure out the rules being used
Mhm.
in each row here.
Right. Right. Yep. That's
So,
fair.
Agnes trying to keep a low profile. I wonder if that's why she called me instead of going to the police about Magnus.
I feel like we need Katie to test all of our games because she's just solving these puzzles super fast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. Go back.
Oh.
Just for a second. Pick that up. Okay, you can see like a PNG kind of like edge or JPEG edge in the window.
Shadow.
Yeah. Wow, I totally missed that. Good catch. But I also want to talk about this, the reflection
Yeah, very
in
cool.
like the displaced wood. It looks so good. Ugh.
See, picture like these graphics, but like 10 years later, like how good they would
Sounds
be.
like he's gone through some troubled
Right?
times
Yeah.
lately. Is this a code?
Oh, well, this is a puzzle I
bet
won't be
Magnus is
solving
in the
very
middle of
fast.
solving this. Looks like one of these words is scrambled within each row and column.
I can
Also,
do this
by
one
this
fine. It just
time-
takes a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah, by this time they had also gotten the UI really good, I think.
This is my favorite
Like
UI. Yeah.
Yeah, the tasks, the notes. I do miss the pop-up inventory though.
You liked that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hated the
Yeah.
pop-up. Because, like, you had to pick something up, and then you had to go close it out, and then use the thing.
No,
I
see,
don't
I
know
was
if it's
gonna
just
say,
yeah, I don't know if it's just like because I play other games like survival games and stuff where you like have the concept of pressing a key as opening your bag kind of thing. And then it's kind of like,
That's true. I guess that is kind of standard.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of the older games did have a lot more inventory items though. Like again, Last Train and Shadow Ranch around that era. They
Yeah,
had like a lot of stuff you could pick up.
I was gonna bring up in regards to the pop-up inventory, there was a beautiful little pocket of games. I don't remember when it was, but I think it might have been around Blue Moon Canyon where when you pop the inventory up, you would click on the item and the inventory would auto close. So you didn't have to click on the X to close it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that I didn't mind as much. Because then you got
I
like the full
also
screen inventory and it felt very classic adventure game, but God, it's like you said, Julia, I hated having to close out the inventory manually every time because then they went back to where you had to manually close it. Sorry. No, it's just because then they went right back to making it so that you had to manually close it when they switched the UI for ice. But there was
yeah.
a couple games there where it automatically closed and it was beautiful. But anyway,
I
sorry. Go
also
ahead.
liked the yeah. No, I liked the in that era in between with the pop-up inventory. I liked the 3 tabs where you could sort like by viewable items and usable items. And then like all the items together.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that, how they had, like, the big Nancy eyeball over some of them.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of, for our game, I'm toying with the idea of like, if you right click on an inventory item, you can inspect it. And then, but if you left click, it'll become your cursor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how
I've
mine
seen a lot of
you can
like
either, like, click or inspect.
Yeah, I
For
don't know if
mine.
like inspecting items is going to be necessary though. So we'll just kind of play it by ear, but. I'm trying. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's okay. Keep talking.
I'm so impressed you can do this while there's, like, noise in the background and things going on. Yeah, I would forget how to, like, use a computer if that many people were watching.
Yeah, I have to like
Yeah, that's
pause
insane.
from the puzzle to talk, but. Okay, wait. Which one?
So
Okay.
is this what No, this isn't. There's that puzzle in Soren's shop there, which is like matching the names to the sales and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I still haven't figured out if you need to do that, and if you do, why you need to do that.
I don't think you have to technically if you already know the answers, right? Because I think the only thing it tells you is like the slang terms for the ship wheel.
Yeah, but I think you can figure, or you can phone Alex, I think, and find that out.
All I
I
need is an
believe
A.
in Argle Thump's playthrough, he says that that is an optional puzzle. Whether or not it's true,
Okay.
but he seems to know the like optional ones versus required ones, and he said that one is optional.
I would believe that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to know if a puzzle you're making is going to be easy or hard or impossible.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
really
mean,
afraid. Like, I feel like, because I mean, pretty much everything, all my puzzles are done. All the design of that is done. There's so much stuff that's done that's never been play tested. I'm just worried people are going to go through and be like, this is an unplayable game. Yeah, or all of these puzzles are just impossible. Could be anything. I mean, some of them, like a fair number of them, follow like standard puzzle type layer formats, like, changing tiles to make a picture or things like that you see everywhere. So at least I know I'm safe in those.
yeah, puzzle design can be tricky with difficulty because kind of like we were talking earlier with escape rooms, everybody has like different puzzle strengths, you know? Mhm. Yeah, the only reason I was able to do that the first time was because I got lucky. Like every single subsequent time, it was literally impossible for me. Right. So you got to kind of like balance the feedback too, you know? Like if it becomes a pattern in feedback, then you might want to look into it. But
Yeah, I don't know if like
mhm.
if everyone else struggles with this, but something I struggle with is not necessarily like criticism of something, but if something isn't working that I really liked and I spent time making, then I'm very hesitant to change it. But like,
Yeah,
I know it should be changed.
that would be me. Yep.
Yeah.
Me?
Was it the person who was like, take all the music out?
Wait, it was the same person? No. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
that's
think
the
that the change was for the better.
Yeah, I remember having that same thought when I played, but of course I wasn't gonna say anything.
Sometimes you need to say things, though, you know?
I don't want her to feel bad.
Okay, looks complete.
Yeah.
What can I use this for?
Thanks.
Okay, time to place some pins.
Oh. I just realized I can just make a 14. I don't have to know the exact letters.
This is one of the sounding numbers Magnus was looking for.
Yeah.
yeah. Here, if you
Yeah, like
turn to the right quickly, I just noticed that mirror there. I think it is an actual mirror because you'll see as you move the angle and it changes, like the angle of the reflection.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just
How
those
it does. Still
details.
have can't have that check. Can't check that
So
off
when
yet.
you guys
Can't
are
check.
like designing a puzzle, how do you guys make sure
Check.
that there won't
Did
be like a
that.
solution that someone
Can't check that
finds
off yet.
that you didn't plan for?
That sounds very intimidating.
I have
I
one.
do have some.
Yeah, I know I have one like that because I had to change how it basically marked that it was correct. Because it's a mathy one where it's like, okay, you have two rows of numbers,
Looks like Dagny's been doing a little
and you can
sleuthing
either
of her own.
add or subtract from these rows of numbers individually to try and get the total of all these numbers to 20. So I thought there was only one way to do it at first, and I then realized that there were many ways to do it because it was just adding and subtracting numbers. So I had to be like, okay, it's correct when I had to have the puzzle
Missing batteries, I think.
do the math as it was going through because I didn't have it where it was like, okay, subtract this, it would actually subtract from a number that it was keeping track of. It would just be like these things have to be in these positions for the puzzle to
Right.
be complete. So I had to change it to actually look for the right answer rather than be like, okay, all the stuff is in place.
Can't check that off yet.
Yeah. I think it also depends. Like, there's some of mine where if
These must be the
I
sound
can
numbers
check
that
for
Magnus is
multiple
known for.
answers
I need to find
and
those
it doesn't
numbers
actually
for
change
him.
anything, like let's say it's opening a door and there are multiple ways of solving it, but multiple ways are just as fun to solve it, then I'll leave
Mm-hmm.
it. But if there's something like I had one that's the answer of the puzzle gives you a code, so obviously you need it to, like, it gives you numbers in a specific order and you need it to output in that specific order. So I actually had to change the puzzle design where one of the pieces was then locked in place so that you couldn't solve it in a different order.
Yeah, I hate stuff
I'm
like that.
always thinking about that. Honestly, I did not think anything of it.
That's actually a good point. Like with some puzzles, where if you replay it, you can just and like the standard solution that most adventure games do is it's kind of like what I was talking about with the barrel thing, except just more hidden with the puzzle where you can't actually input the right code if you haven't found the code yet.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a fair.
It is,
I
because there's
have
not a lot
that
of other ways
at
you can
least
work
once.
around it.
Yeah, I think especially with like inputting numbers, it's fair to make that lock so that someone doesn't just like randomly cycle through the numbers and unlock it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always afraid of that person. I'm like, there's going to be that one guy who's going to cheese this. It's going to take him like 17 hours, but he's going to not do the puzzle and he's just going to try every single combination. So
Yep.
I have to stop him.
I know. I feel like you have to either just not accept the correct answer until they've gained it in the game, or just prevent the protagonist from messing with the letters or numbers to begin with until they have the information. Right? Like my brain, that doesn't work in my brain. I'm like, that's not logical. That doesn't make sense. Of course it would open if I put in the right combination.
I think it also depends
I do
on the
prefer
puzzle.
doing the second method if we can, or when we can. But
I think it depends on the puzzle as well. Like
could,
a
yeah.
slider puzzle or something, you can like make the character not want to do it yet. But then if it's something like, let's say an actual combination lock on a suitcase, it would be weird if it was just like, I don't want to do that right now if you try and click on it. So like with that one, you'd lock it the other way.
See, I feel like you can always kind of make excuses in the game, though. So you could be like, have the player, I don't want to do this right now, but it's because, maybe this other suspect is in the room watching. So then, when they leave, that's the way you can unlock it.
Yeah, we have like areas in our game. It's like you don't have access to this place, this to boot up the game. Like you have to talk to people and learn that this area exists, whatever. But but it's not like hidden areas. It's just areas that we don't want you to go to yet. So it's raining in our game. So we're just like, nope, you don't get to explore the woods until you get the rain gear,
Yeah.
I do too. I think that's a very important part of a mystery game.
It makes the game feel much bigger.
It's not necessary, but it makes things a lot more fun.
Also, just having like locations that in your mind are far away from the other sets. Like obviously, in a point and click game, they're all still frames, and there's a specific amount of frames. But something like if you think of Stay Tuned for Danger, it feels quite big because there's different apartments you go to. But then there's things like Blackmore that feels smaller because it's just one building, even though it probably has more frames. Yeah. So it's kind of, you have to think about it in the player's mind a little bit.
Yeah, I guess there's the whole thing of like, do you want an overworld kind of thing in your game, or do you like one detailed area? Because I know that was just like a thing that would come up in Nancy Drew games. Like, which style do you like better? So there's some preference there, I think.
True. But I think even just opening, like you said, unlocking environments as you go, like not having it open the whole time. So like if there's a room, even if you're in the same house the whole time, but there's like a room that later you unlock a secret passage, it expands it. Whereas if it's like, I'm trying to remember, there's some of the Nancy Drew games where definitely it's felt very small to me, just specifically because not a lot opens up over time.
Yeah, sometimes there's too much open in the beginning, and
Yeah.
it's like they just played all their cards too early.
Well, I think actually, the what's the skull one called? The crystal skull.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good example of that, where like it's actually a very big environment. There's that whole maze, but you can go in it like right from the beginning. So then by the end of the game, it kind of feels like you've seen all the environments like too much.
Yeah, actually, you're right. That game hardly has anything that opens up that I can think of. Because I think you just
Yeah.
have access to everything in the beginning.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
except for like the one hidden room.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there's that
Yeah.
one hidden room in the with the spy hole.
A peephole.
Oh,
Sorry, at least for me, your audio was cutting out for that whole
Yeah. It's
sentence.
cutting out a little. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I get the gist of what you mean. And the thing for like Wickford Castle though, for like out of all the single environment games, Wickford Castle by far to me feels the most expansive.
Yeah.
Even
I think it's because you get lost in it at first.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, but it's like even excluding like the elevator shafts, I think just it's very open. The hallways themselves have a lot of space and there's just so many hallways. Like to be a single environment, it just feels massive.
yeah, they could get away with reusing so many assets that they basically just built a huge area with like
Yeah.
pretty, I don't want to say minimal work, but you can see, I mean, I definitely noticed when I was making my remaster just how many things were reused.
Oh yeah. Those same
Even from like the
green chairs.
basement. Yeah, the same green chairs. And, you know, when you can copy and paste like 20
Oh, yeah.
doors, that makes it a little easier.
I know.
Oh yeah, there's a reason to like make them individually.
That's you
Yeah.
know, that's actually why like originally we were working on a game idea that took place in like a small hotel, like bed and breakfast type place. Because then it's like you can reuse most of the same furniture, but still feel like you're exploring different suspects' rooms, you know?
Yeah.
So that's still on our list of games that we want to hopefully make, but. But then we just said, well, we'll just go ham on Arrow Lake then. And not worry about keeping it small. Hopefully, we don't regret it.
So, you've come back.
Yep.
Is there anything more you haven't told me about Magnus?
No. Guess you'll have to leave now.
Elizabeth, I'm trying my hardest to find Magnus, but I have to admit I can't do it without you. The sooner you cooperate, the sooner he gets found.
He is quiet, thoughtful, keenly obsessive. First over his dog, then over his writing, then over me, then over the ship.
Why would someone like him be hunting for gold in the first place?
He has certain intentions with the treasure.
Which were...
A boat of his own. He desperately wants to leave town. Leave Eastland.
I thought he was a captain already.
Oh, he is. But for wealthy people. Private clients. Never his own boat. Never his own destination. He dreams of living like the old captains. Sailing wherever the wind takes him.
I see, so the treasure would allow him to fulfill that dream.
Here,
Have this. Magnus left it at my place. After we broke up, he called me looking for it. But I hid it. It looks like it might be the key to open some kind of box. But I've never seen any box like that before. I don't know why I kept it for myself. Maybe I wanted to see whatever it was he saw in this hunk of driftwood.
Do we feel like this is kind of a random spot for her to give us this?
It is rather random.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm going to get to the bottom of this mess. I'll let you go.
Bless.
I don't mind it when we get key information or items from characters. I think that can be fun. But yeah.
I guess it's because she was telling us about the cabin there.
Right. But yeah, I just think it's very cool too how it's like you talk to her, and she's very closed off and angry at Magnus still, but then it's like she slowly starts to open up. It's really good.
Hi there.
I was
I'm
just thinking
investigating
about
a
the
recent
voice
disappearance.
acting as well.
My name's
I was
Nancy
wondering
Yeah.
like how much was, because
My
for some of the
name's
older games
Nancy
especially, they had people in
I
person
said
directing
my
them.
name's
And I was
Yeah.
just
Nancy
wondering like
Drew.
how much of that was in this game, because with some of the ways she delivered some lines, either it was directed in person or they gave a lot of like direction.
Right.
is my home.
Oh,
It must have been nice to sorry, me. It must be nice to go into a studio and like record back and forth with people live.
Yeah.
Even though I know Lonnie never did that, but I know like um they would bring in and do the Hardy Boys, let them record their stuff together, which I think is really fun.
Yeah, I think it's almost an interesting thing actually that you can kind of tell from that is the main character doesn't have as much emotion, but it doesn't really matter because except for like rare cases like Silent Spy, you're not really telling the main character's story in these games. You're telling like you are kind of Nancy Drew, so you don't really have to get a lot of different emotions and stuff in the way stuff's delivered.
Yeah, I was noticing, like, for Katie's lines for Penelope, that they're mostly questions. It's just, you're just trying to find out
Yeah, it's
about
just
other
the way
characters.
Yeah.
it kind of plays out.
But it is incredibly helpful to be able to hear the other suspects' lines too and kind of respond in reaction to their recordings, so that it just has a more natural sound to it.
Yeah, the difference with
Yeah.
that was insane.
I know, wasn't it? I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
At first, I was like, no, it sounds great. Like, you don't need to do that. And then you sent that to me, and I was like, okay, we need to redo everything.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah,
Well, that,
there
but
was
also because
one.
my setup was better, so just the quality's better now too, and I was just like, okay, redo everything. I'll redo everything.
We
It's
didn't
fine.
have a lot at that point, so I didn't feel too bad.
Yeah.
One of the games I played recently was Shattered Medallion. And the dialogue in that one, I don't know what they did differently, but it feels really disconnected to me.
So I find that Silent Spy and Shattered Medallion have that the worst out of the entire series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
it's like-
remember Silent Spy well enough to say, but yeah, I could see it.
In Shattered Medallion, like some of it was definitely the writing, where it's just weird. Like you ask a question and the answer is totally unrelated to what you just said. But then a lot of it is also like Nancy will say something in like a happy tone, and the other person replies in like a completely different. Yeah, I don't know what was different there.
The actual writing in Shattered Medallion is very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know what they were going for. I guess like quirky, maybe funny. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but at what cost?
yeah.
But there's also a few of the games like I think I might be breaking up a bit here. There we go. Yeah, a few of the games like Shattered Medallion, but then also I know it's a very like discussed one. Either you hate it or love it, the Deadly Device. To me, those characters in both those games aren't very well developed at all. Like, you don't really get to know their personalities. They're all just kind of grumpy.
I feel like the Deadly Device characters all kind of fall into their designated stereotypes and they never really expand beyond them.
Yeah.
Like, I still enjoy some of the characters in the game, but I don't know. Deadly Device, though, the characters aren't my problem with that game, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, I liked that game, but I think that is the weak point, is just there's no character development and the characters aren't that interesting, or like they're so
Yeah.
forgettable.
See, I actually think the characters are one of... Sorry, go ahead, Hannah. Yeah. Deadly Device also has weird dialogue. Right. No, I agree. But no, see, I was going to say, I feel like the characters is actually one of the better parts of Deadly Device for me. And that's
That's
saying something,
interesting.
because I agree that they don't have enough development, because like I said, you know, they have stereotypes and they don't really grow beyond those stereotypes, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah. I wonder if
it's
it's just
mostly just the
because,
gameplay that I find so boring.
well, it's one of those ones that is like,
Yeah, I don't really like the
it's
puzzles either.
also like what we were talking about earlier. It's a very small environment, like in your mind.
Oh, it's so small.
Oh, yeah.
It's so tiny.
I think
That's
it's
like the most
actually just
claustrophobic game.
I think it probably has like the least frames out of any game. It's
Probably.
like legitimately so tiny.
I know. Yeah, so it's so cramped. I feel claustrophobic when I play that game. I don't really like the puzzles. The way it's structured feels strange to me. Like, almost to be fair, there was like a string of games that kind of did this, because Silent Spy has it too, where it's like the things that progress the game isn't really the work that you've done. It's often like, you know, you just walk through the hallway at a certain point and an event happens, and then that's what moves forward the plot, rather than
Yeah.
your own discoveries.
Also, I
So
don't
I
know.
don't love that either. I think it's fine to do that every once in a while, obviously. Like, triggered events help to like ensure that the player has hit all of your milestones. But Deadly Device just has several instances where it's that and nothing else. And Silent Spy has it too. And that's why those are two of my least favorite games, personally.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're like spoiling different games plots here, but like, spoiler alert for the ending of Deadly Device. The Everyone here has played it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll say I saw it coming way too soon, and I just felt like that ending was very badly written.
I predicted the culprit of that game before I played it.
That's interesting. So the thing is, the culprit is a phone character who then shows up near the end of the game. So
Yeah.
like, as soon as he shows up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very forgettable to me too.
Yeah, for Deadly Device, the bad guy looks like the bad guy in the first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
So in
He
my
is
head, he was
actually
already
modeled after him.
bad.
Exactly.
I decided from the beginning.
As far as I know, they did actually base it on him.
Where they kind of like buried the lead. Yeah.
I feel like they gave away who it was just by showing that the guy had a 3D model when you're talking to him on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, why else would they, you know, animate a 3D model for whatever, a 3-minute phone call? Like, that
And maybe
seems...
this is just our like game developer minds going, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think normal people would think that. That's actually, if anyone's played, I know Katie likes the Paynes Creek Killings. If anyone's played that one, that exact thing is what
Yep.
spoiled the ending for me. The culprit.
Yeah.
Well, so they had a 3D model when like everyone else was just photographs. But it was in a photograph, but it was like a photograph with a 3D model in it. And I
It
was
looked
like,
kind of like they almost blended the 3D model with the actual photograph, but it was still obvious that it was a model.
yeah. I was like, well, why else would they do that?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a great game.
Yeah, no, that is genuinely my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, I've wanted to play it again for like forever, but time.
I'm so sad that I can't experience it for the first time though. You know, it's like I remember too much about it. I can never forget some of the things.
I feel like I've forgotten enough just because I have a terrible memory. So that's kind of useful sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you know Magnus?
Sure did. Never liked him.
Any reason you didn't like him?
He was too tall.
Yeah.
Too poetic. To cry into your guitar and mourn for the sea. Always quiet, always thinking, too soft, beard too short, coat too long.
Okay, Gunnar
Eyelashes
is,
too full.
in my opinion,
So I
the
take it
best
you
looking
weren't
character
friends.
model out of the
Gunnar
entire
doesn't
series.
need friends. Already
He's also a
have
very
two
well written
Mog
one, in my
Archer.
opinion.
Yep, I agree. Again, the characters in this game are like top tier.
Did Magnus ever say anything about the treasure?
You might have.
Don't remember?
So who wrote this
I
game?
have a
Because it
very
wasn't
good
Nick,
memory.
right?
Go away.
No,
Didn't they get a new person just for this
they
game?
did. Her name was Katie Sharanis.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So she was like the main writer for this game. They
And then
still had some of their other writers from the previous games too, but she was like the lead
the
script
head
the
one,
way
yeah.
that Nick used to be.
Because didn't she write a lot for Midnight in Salem, and then they scrapped it and like got someone else to rewrite it?
Yes, I will never
I
forget
know.
either the early development pictures of some of the puzzles. They had already designed like the 2D screens for some puzzles that were going to go in the game. And I remember somebody found them online and posted them, and
Yeah.
oh my god,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, I
No,
didn't
they
know
were
that.
already working on it, and it makes me miserable every time I remember. I'm like, the money I would pay for the original version of Midnight in Salem. That's
Yeah, I
all
would like to
Plain
just
was
like
working on.
see the script, and then we could like buy it from them and make it
Right.
ourselves. Uh-huh.
Heck yes.
Probably
my
have to
God.
rename it.
We'll call it call it Noon in Salem.
There we go.
Noon. They all just have like their names are slightly to the left. Instead of May, it's Mia, stuff like that. Laura Holt.
Apparently
So
her
get to the bottom.
Don't care.
last time. Oh yeah, that's a good question. No, I don't think so, because oh no, yes, no. No, yes. I mean, if that answers your question, yeah.
What
Yeah,
was the question?
I didn't realize that. Okay, so Laura Holt in that game, or whatever her name is, it was her last name was supposed to be Corey.
Corey, yep.
Yes. So people was like, is she related to Ingrid Corey?
I remember that. And I also remember when Jenna.
Yeah, I remember that too.
It was Jenna Ravencroft, I think. And then they changed it to like Olivia Ravencraft. Or maybe I had that backwards. I know. Literally, I go insane if I allow myself to think about it too long. I'm be so upset. Yeah, the potential. Ugh.
Did you attend the festival this year?
Yes. Embarrassing.
For you?
Not everyone else. The scrambling around for hidden treasure? Embarrassing. When I was all young, we fought over things like longest fish and shiniest boat, not gold. Ever since that sword took over the festival running, it's been straight to the bottom with it.
I heard you've had problems with the festival the last couple of years. Care to talk about that?
The festival is not what it once was. I'll return things to the old ways no matter how many buckets of hot tar I have to dump. Some of the harbor boats still have holes in their
Oh,
bottoms.
I thought he meant like dump on
See.
people.
Did you have a plan like that this year too?
Still got holes in their
Elizabeth
butts.
said
Yeah.
no more trouble or she kicks me out of skip.
Some people still have
I
holes in their
only pay for an angry sheep.
What does that mean?
Means I do it, but I don't like it.
Are you a sailor?
Was long ago. I gave up the sea for good, and I'll never sail again.
You still look like a sailor to me.
What does a sailor look like?
It's a certain quality. I can't quite place it.
Worn? Broken? Bitter? The sea chewed me up and spat me back out, and I lost everything in her waves. You are too delicate. I bet you'd not last 1 minute against some of the gales I've sailed.
I'm finding that these days I'm surprisingly hard to kill.
Well, we'll
Is
see
that
about
a
that.
threat?
dear.
Yeah, that's kind of spooky.
I hate the water. Hate the smell of it. The sound of it won't ever return.
Not so about your fingers.
What?
So,
This is
that's
probably one of my favorite like
My lucky tree.
little
Oh.
stories in
that
the
what you
games.
call it?
Huh.
It's a long story. No, there I was, out in the pitch black of night, with no sign of shore and only my fishing spear. Then suddenly, I saw a shadow. It was a mighty squid, the greatest hunter of them all. Few men have lived to see it and tell the tale. So I pulled out my spear, just a little too fast, mind you.
And that's how you lost your fingers?
Of course not! I threw the spear right overboard and I hauled that fellow into my net. Took all my weight just to keep him from wriggling free, but his strength proved too much for me. He gnashed his giant beak and, well, I was done for.
So the squid took your fingers.
No! Right as I thought I was dead, a massive shark leapt out of the waves and ate the squid. It was the sleeper shark, a solid 6 meters long with 4 rows of teeth. Bit my arm and pulled me under.
That's
as I
a good
gasped
question.
for
He
breath.
keeps them
Just
in his
keeps them,
pocket
yeah.
for whenever
Shark,
someone asks.
No!
They're like in his wallet.
I managed to punch him in the nose. You ever fight a shark? You know how to punch him in the nose? He let me go. I swam like a merman and made it back to shore. 3 months later, I was in a wood shop accident. Lopped my fingers clean off.
That's so good.
At least it makes for a great story. Have you met Dagny?
Who?
She's the woman involved with the Hirlik High's restoration. Brown hair, about yay high.
Ah, a tough little mink of a woman. Not bad in my book.
Did you see her the day of the ship crash?
Yeah, she was there, but I paid no attention to the mink.
Later.
Do we know if they got like actual Icelandic actors for this game at all? Because his accent is very accurate.
That is the same guy who does Alexi
Oh, really?
and what's his name? Marcus in Captive Curse. Yeah.
Well, he's really good because
Yeah.
have you seen the YouTube channel Polyfjord for Blender stuff?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't
Well,
seen
that guy's Icelandic, and he sounds like, as far as I know, and he sounds exactly like this guy.
I know, he is super, super talented. Also, my god, look at all these frames that they plopped him into. And that's just like from standing here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now.
Also, did you see there? Does his animation keep track of like where he was in an animation when you move? Yeah, and then you walk forwards.
Come on, buddy. Bro! Oh no, we're losing you again, Hannah.
Yeah, you're disappearing. We literally heard I think they did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you repeat that?
Oh.
Oh. So basically, my game does this, and how it works is that all of the animations are playing in the background all at the same time. It's for all the different screens. Yeah.
That's interesting, because like something I would have thought of doing as a different workaround would be having the animation frame number or video frame number. Well, I guess it's harder with video depending on your software, but that the frame number is also tied to a variable, so that when you go forwards, you just tell the animation to like set to the frame as the last one.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it.
Julia, does that give you any kind of performance hit to have them all running simultaneously?
No, actually, I have not found an issue with that. I've even compared running the scene without, because the character's only sometimes in a scene. So I can even run the whole scene without the character, and it performs just about the same, which is really surprising. But no, it doesn't really. I think because they're so small, they're very small videos, like, in terms of size, because you're seeing them from far away. So you only need a tiny little video to play, and yeah, it's not as intensive as a whole screen. Yeah, they're cut out into like the smallest they can possibly be, but still hold the whole character.
Just like always.
Are you hiding something now, girl? Something you're keeping from old Gunnar?
Ugh! Fine! Sit there in that stupid chair for all I care. There'll be no service at the Misty Skip tonight. Happy now?
A story about me?
Have y'all seen these?
Written by
Yeah.
Danny June. Hadn't seen him in a while.
I think this is only in the bonus edition, right?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
But what's strange is I got the game from their website, like, I think I got it in 2017, which is 2
Really?
years after it released, but I still got the bonus version.
Interesting. I didn't realize. Huh.
Yeah, that was such a mistake.
Yeah, or at least done it a lot better.
I wonder
I
how
like-
many of these I still remember.
I like that there's just a machine that will pay you money to play it.
I know, literally. I would actually, man, I would be living large if this existed.
Yeah, you could just sit here all day.
Okay.
This music.
But those are terrible. I hate those. I have literally only Yeah, no, I think I got up to like $8 and I gave up. It's just oh wow, nice. I know, that's how I found most of them were for me. I was just like, I cannot do this. Yeah.
I know.
This kind of goes with atmosphere, but the music in this game is like top tier.
It's so good at atmosphere building.
Yeah, I really like the Thomas Reagan era of music, personally, which is like, I think,
Ugh,
Tomb of the
movies.
Lost Queen and forward. Like, people were like, oh, it's not the same. Like, Kevin Menthai is better, but yeah, I don't know. I like the style of the newer music.
Yeah, Deadly Device, I know we were just kind of dunking on that game a little bit, but it has one of my favorite soundtracks in the series.
Yeah, I love the music game. I had it.
So good.
I had one song as my ringtone for years, and then that totally ruined the song.
Really?
Yeah. No, I can't listen to it anymore.
You'd play the
Oh,
game and
no.
think your phone's ringing.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of like a trauma response.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of really good music in Silent Spy too.
Yeah.
I like that music too.
That is true.
My favorite's probably from Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
See, that's one of my all-time favorite games, but I actually don't love the soundtrack that much, personally.
That's interesting. It's
Yeah.
my favorite of the Nancy Drew games, but
It's so
I
good.
specifically like, I don't know, the tracks to me really, most of them anyway, really to me fit like what they're about. So like Camille really gives the vibe of Camille.
Mhm. No, I agree.
I like the track that I think it's called Steam, where it's kind of, I don't know, kind of steampunky, and it sounds like the train. Yeah, that one.
What's my favorite track in that game? I actually like the one called Explore. I find that one relaxing. It's like the acoustic guitar one that plays a lot when you're going through the
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I really like the one just called Train, the like the victory music you get when you solve
Yeah.
that victory.
Right. And then I do like the motif, how they have that same song, but like the piccolo version that's like softer that plays throughout the game.
Yeah.
But then like you get to the big reveal at the end and it's the orchestral version. It's really cool. I mean, I like all of the soundtracks. I just think music has always been a pretty strong point in these games.
Yeah, it'd be hard
Why
to
will
pick
y'all not
a
give me the food one?
favorite soundtrack. I like
Wait, are you looking
Crystal
for the
Skull.
are you looking for the game where you put like the food in the tray?
No, I hate that game. I want them to give me the food one, and they won't do it.
Sorry, Julia, you were saying something.
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry.
I think my favorite soundtrack, well, at least maybe top 3, would be Legend of the Crystal Skull.
I know my top 3 soundtracks.
I think, well, I really like the song Legend, It just like it's when like super builds up at the end. It's like dun 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 dun.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like that one.
that's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. Oh, also, Captive Curse is up there.
Oh yeah, no, Captive Curse used to be my favorite soundtrack of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the song "Girls," I think.
Yes,
It's like
exactly.
the best one. Yeah, it's so good.
It literally is the best one. God, I love that song. And actually, now that you've mentioned it, I don't have a clear top 3. I think I have a clear top 4, maybe. 5. Oh my god, I don't know.
6,
Gun to my head, the first
7.
ones that come to mind are Royal Tower and Secret of the Old Clock.
Yeah, I did like
Mhm.
Secret of the Clock for a lot. Like after it came out, I remember listening to it a lot.
It's just so fun. It's a
Mhm.
soundtrack that I don't get tired of listening to.
That one
That's how I
definitely
am
also
with
fits the
Royal
game.
Tower. Oh yeah, for sure. But that's how I've always been with Royal Tower because that was my first game. So to me, that's like quintessential Nancy Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's another great soundtrack.
it's just so cozy. And again, it's one where it's like I actually like every single song in that soundtrack, you know? Whereas I feel like with
Yeah,
most of them, it's like the ones that I love, I really, but then there's a couple, more ambient soundtracks that I don't care for as much. But man, well, I mean, every game has a few
Ja?
ambient or danger tracks, but like Royal
You spend
Tower,
a lot
I
of
just,
time in the pub, don't you?
so good.
Why?
What
the only song
kind
that I
of
can really think of
question
that I
is
was
that?
like, I
Am
hate
a
this.
lonely little
I
man
hate this so
sitting
much.
in the pub
Was
crying
there was this really, really happy song in Deadly Device that I just
Oh,
thought was like
yeah,
super annoying, and it played so
I
much.
hate that one too.
Every
I have
time it
a
came
very
on, it was like, oh no.
dude, yes, it's that song. I have a very specific type of song that I hate in these games, and it's the super cheery, upbeat ones like that. I
Yeah.
hate that one. I hate Gossip in Waverly
Yes, I
Academy,
was just gonna say Waverly
and
has one too.
more than any of them, I hate the song "Day" in Ghost Dogs and Moonlake. Literally
Oh,
want to.
really?
I was just gonna ask you
I
about
wouldn't
that
go
one.
that far.
I hate that song so much. It fills me with rage. I mean, I'm exaggerating. I don't hate it that much, but I have that's always been like my least favorite song in the games. That's
It's
so
like
funny.
the pop music in Shadow at the Water's Edge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, nothing bad is gonna happen right now. It always changes if something's gonna happen, so there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I just find it very grating. Any of the overly high-pitched cheery songs like those 3.
That's one of
Especially,
the many, many problems with Ransom of Seven Ships.
oh my
And
gosh.
see, I actually love that game
Oh,
soundtrack.
The soundtrack's cool, but like all of them are happy and your friend's been kidnapped.
Yes, right?
that's the vibe of the whole game. Just like have a fun vacation while Bess is,
Exactly.
withering away in a cave somewhere.
I know. There's
Yeah,
like
it
They're just
almost
chilling
seems
on a
like
beach.
Nancy's like judging George for how worried she is.
I know, right? George is panicking and Nancy's like, "Don't worry about it. Just do what you're doing. I'm following the treasure."
Yeah.
Oh,
Whereas like what's the theater one called again?
Final scene.
Yeah, that one's much more like the urgency, like, and I think they do it the opposite way around, where all the other characters aren't concerned that someone's been kidnapped,
right.
and like you're the only one concerned, and it's really stressful.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that game does urgency so well. And like
It really
suspense.
does.
And the
I
whole
know.
like day system where it's like, okay, you have 3 days until the whole building is torn down. That is just so good.
I know.
And time is passing and days are passing. It's like you have to find her.
Yeah, dude. It's so good at building the pressure. Okay.
Over a tiny plate of pretty biscuits, thinking about all the women I've ever lost, and writing it all down in some wimpy little notebook? No! Then I would be Magnus. Me. I am a mountain wolf. I roam the wilds.
I'll let you go.
But dude, this goes into what Cameron was saying about how well written Gunnar is. Like that whole monologue there where he specifically is projecting so hard. He's talking about himself, about all the women I've lost and wanting to be emotional about that. But no, I can't do that. I'm a mountain wolf.
Yeah.
It's so good.
This is so neat. I wish I could play these.
And yet you're going to anyway.
Isn't this like there's an Easter egg for Mel from Waverly Academy here?
Yeah. There she is.
She looks so uncomfortable in that picture.
So true.
It's subtle, but I see some differences in the halves of this pattern.
I think this is a very good design where you've got the visual indicator on the left to know how many differences are left without just having like some text saying you need to find however many differences.
Right. I did not beta test this game, but I would not be surprised if this might have been something they added after beta testing.
Yeah.
Because I remember I did beta test for Labyrinth of Lies. And I remember, y'all know the really complicated rock puzzle where it's like you had to slide the things around the circle until they were in the right spot. You had to pair the letters with the occupation. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I blocked out everything about that game.
Ah, man. Okay.
Which game? Sorry.
Yeah, it's like one of the most complicated puzzles in the game. And it was so much harder in the beta version, I remember, because in the finished one they have like indicators to tell you like there's like a blue eye design on some of them to kind of indicate where they're supposed to go. It sounds confusing, but you know, and they had like colored rims around them, but none of that was there in the beta version, and so it was just like you were flying blind. It was really hard. There was no visual indicator of what you were doing. You had to just trust that you were doing the right thing. And it was really hard.
Check. Still have check. Can't did can't still can't have it can't check can't check. That's done.
Still using those old door sounds. Yeah. There, that makes me think of A Message in a Haunted Mansion. It's like every single door in that game. Oh. Oh.
Hello?
Hey, Ned. Are you still on your way?
Hey, Ned. No, I'm already here.
Oh, good. How close are you?
Getting closer all the time. I feel like I'm definitely near to a breakthrough.
Cool. I can't wait.
It's hard to get people to talk, though.
Get people to talk?
Yes, I've managed to narrow down that the treasure is related to the ship somehow, but beyond that, I haven't figured out the specifics.
Nancy, what are you talking about? Are you on a case right now?
Well, of course. I'm in Iceland.
Nancy, do you know what today is?
Sunday?
It's our anniversary today. We had reservations for dinner, remember? I called to see if you were on your way to the restaurant, but I guess not.
Oh, no. Ned.
Are we going to be nice or are we going to be a grim?
I know some people don't like the drama, but I think it adds to the characters.
I feel like in this game it's fun because you can be so mean.
Julia said, "Go Gremlin."
I'm sure I did all the nice stuff in the beginning, like when I played it though, because
Yeah.
I would have felt too bad, but
I know. I've played it both ways because, yeah, I think being mean is genuinely funny, but I also feel really bad.
I'm gonna write that down as something you said. I think being mean is genuinely funny. Katie 2024.
Oh no, don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I
Okay,
say
we'll be
let's do the mean.
Yeah, I'll
we'll
pick
be
the
a
mean.
gremlin, a poor baby Ned.
Dinner will have to wait.
I mean, today's our anniversary, whether you're here for it or not. Can't say I'm too surprised. Laser focused on the case as usual. But, wow, Iceland, of all places.
First or last?
This case is really important.
And our anniversary isn't? Ouch. All right, Nancy, fine. I'll stop bothering you now. Just bring me an anniversary souvenir or something.
Oh, it's so bad.
I don't think I've ever heard him that.
I didn't
forgot
think
how
you
bad
could
it was. Oh no.
do that.
Oh no. I haven't played it mean in a really long time. Yeah. I know. I feel like I know. Okay, see, here's my thing. I feel like in the older games, that is more evocative of like their relationship in the books. Like that feels more accurate to original canon, Nancy Ned. But I feel like later iterations of their characters aren't as compatible anymore. And so I'm just kind of like I'm kind of neutral. It just depends on which version of the character you're looking at, you know. Oh my god. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, hello there.
I don't mind the drama in this one as much as the drama in Captive Curse, just because in Captive Curse it feels like they drag it out a lot more. But I guess they
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
drag it
gonna
out here.
say, especially that one, like almost feels forced in a way.
Right, right. Yeah, like I don't know. The fight here feels a little more natural because it's like you understand kind of where they're both coming from. Like Nancy's still in the wrong, but you know, 100% in the wrong. Which is why I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like Ned does deserve somebody who's going to be around more for him. But
What's your relationship like with Elizabeth?
Presently quite poor. She won't allow certain, members of the restoration team to access their work.
You mean Dagny?
Yes, but overall, she's quite a peach, that one. The only one who's ever shown me kindness. Truly a shame about her and Magnus, though.
Her and Magnus?
The force of their romantic split rocked the local mountains to their very core. I wonder if he's checked his voicemail since.
oh, is that a reference to later on?
Have you always lived here?
For 12 years in total now. 2 before University, 10 after.
Others seem to think of you as an outsider. Gunner especially.
Oh, for the love of... I was born 10 miles away!
And that means you don't live here?
To him, yes. To everyone, yes. It's preposterous. In their minds, I'll never be from Skiprot because I wasn't born here. Upper secondary school was a nightmare with these people.
I may not know much about Skiprot, but there are lots of unpleasant people in my line of work. Sometimes persistence helps.
Oh, I've tried. I've bent over backwards to put on this festival for them, and yet no one invites me out. I'm not welcome at the pub. Spending my birthday alone is getting to be a real downer.
Are y'all getting the weird, like, audio fluctuations?
Not really, I don't
Yeah,
think.
not really.
Okay, that's weird, because on my end, it's like randomly bits of his dialogue are a lot louder. And it'll change and get quieter mid-sentence. It's really weird.
Do you have anything which might help with my investigation?
The Discord call could be,
If I'm not in
I don't know,
town,
Yeah.
neutralizing it for us.
I do have
It
some
could, yeah.
very nice pamphlets, though. The Pamphlet Lovers Journal rated them a 9-star out of 10. I put them together myself. Here's one for your troubles.
Well, it's hard to turn down an award-winning pamphlet. I'll see if I can make use of this. Thanks, Soren.
That doesn't look like an
I said
award-winning
some
pamphlet
bad
to
blood
me.
between you
Does
and
not.
Definitely
Gunner
designed in
bad blood on
PowerPoint.
Pendrick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of
While
lip
laughing,
art.
I try to be patient, given his history. But what a Neanderthal, that one. I can't reason with a man who only speaks fist. Between you and me, he's never been the same since that terrible crash.
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
Crash?
Well, I don't know that it's my
There are
place
no-
to speak of it, but
There are
he
no
walked
other
back
graphic
to the bottom of
designers in the
bay,
town.
and he hasn't sailed since. Now he stays locked up in that pub of his.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
It's so funny.
Wait, can I just quickly point out something really just basic, but like also really cool, the detail?
Yeah.
In those lights against his counter there, if you look underneath the counter, the light has a texture, or it's multiple lights, but to give it that like
Oh, what is that, an IES texture?
yeah, either that or they've actually put two like spotlights together, but I think it might be a texture, but it looks really good, like especially when you go up to him there, like
Oh.
yeah.
The level of detail in this game, man. So good. I even just really love... Yeah, except for graphic design. I even just really love the wall texture they have in here. It looks so satisfying and crunchy. Oh, she...
I didn't
Just
think
hit
it was
it.
possible to be this
Yeah,
cold.
she hit it.
Can't you go inside?
I keep asking people to fix this broken heater so I can watch over my ship. You know what Gunnar told me? Freeze for all I care. He is the worst human being.
Maybe I can help you out with that heater then.
Do you know how to do machine things?
I've picked up a few things.
I know how
I don't care
to
what they say.
fix a video
You're
camera by
okay,
doing a
Nancy
renogram
Drew.
puzzle. I hate this
So we're gonna
puzzle
do this
because it
middle
involves
management
numbers.
stuff. That is, you do the work and I supervise. Each of those circuit pieces will attach anywhere on this board, but there are special numbers you've got to watch
And
out
this one
for.
doesn't...
Covered numbers add together to give that piece a total value. If you can use all 5 pieces to hit all 5 target values, the heater
It's
will
kind of
work.
trial and error.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
actually not sure that's how electricity works.
But
Oh,
also
yeah?
this one doesn't
Okay.
have
Where'd you
any...
get your PhD in electricitology?
This one doesn't have any hints either.
Yeah. I like that they're self-aware that this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but...
If you know this much, why haven't you tried
Yeah,
to fix it
exactly.
yet?
Hey, if I had to do all the hard thinking around here, you'd be out of a job.
So, where'd you come from?
The United States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
me too. Where in the U.S.?
South-ish.
I'd just like to get to know you a little.
I went to school, and then I had a job, and then I was married, and then I wasn't. And now I have another job
Right.
involving definitely legal treasure hunting activities. That's
Yeah, I
it.
don't mind it as
Like this
like,
with
you know,
everyone?
it's a puzzle for the sake of a
Thank you.
puzzle,
If you
but
wanna write me a
like
check,
you're
I can tell
saying,
you a
it
sad
doesn't
backstory
totally
for
make
most of
sense in
the
this
tales.
context.
Sorry, I left my checkbook at the lodge.
Maybe next time then. I mean,
Darn
are
it.
you an open book with every stranger who crosses your path?
Well, no. I guess I don't like to talk about myself much either.
What's your jam? Witness
At least it
protection
shows
program?
you the total in the
Nemesis?
corner just
None
by
of those.
hovering.
I guess it's that I met
I
so
cannot
many interesting
imagine
people, I'd
ever
feel
solving this if it did not.
ordinary by comparison.
Nah, everyone's normal.
It sure would take a long time.
People think my job is all glam and adrenaline, but that all got boring years ago. Now it's just 9 to 5 headache involving lots of diplomacy and occasional gunfire. But you, a gal your age working as a sleuth? All on your own? That's admirable.
Thanks. I guess this is my normal. I'm a pretty lucky girl.
Anyways, it's probably for the best that you stay quiet. Don't talk to strangers, kiddo. It's worked out for me.
Yeah.
I think it's just because you're solving this one for so long, they thought maybe make it a bit more interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the strangest
Yeah.
wiring panel I've ever seen. But I think the
Same.
heat's on.
Toasty. Feels just like home. By the by, have you been up to Magnus's cabin yet?
He has a cabin? Up in the hills?
Elizabeth keeps a key in her bag. Talk about refusing to let go. But there's no way she'd ever give it to you.
So, I'll need to find a way to get her off that deck.
If I were you, I'd get a little sneaky about it.
I need to know who was present at the time of the festival.
I was there.
Who else did you see?
Only Gunnar. Elizabeth and Soren were thoroughly MIA. Although half of Iceland is probably related to itself, so people kinda look alike. Could have missed something.
What do you think of Gunnar?
In terms of the treasure, he tried to sabotage the festival last year, and the year before that. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a stunt of his.
So, how long were you working on the ship project?
About 2 years, on and off a bit. Magnus supervised the rebuild. I provided the cash.
That's a long time to hang around in Iceland. Have you been in Skipbrot all that time?
Ha! No. I think the locals would have offed me by now if that were the case. I don't like to stay in one place for too long.
Why's that?
If you stay in one place, people start to need you and feel things about you and all that icky, weird stuff. I'm not really the having friends type.
I'd like to think you and I are on friendly terms.
What is this? Are we gonna hold hands and sing campfire songs now? Get lost, Drew. Find my gold.
I found a radio on board, but I need a key to turn it on. Can I borrow yours?
Here you go.
Hey, that was easy. Now, how do I operate the thing?
I don't know. I don't have radio experience. I have business experience.
Figures. Well, thanks anyway. Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Very character.
Hey, Nancy.
Has anyone checked Magnus's cabin?
No. I wanted to.
But you didn't? Or can't?
Soren won't let anyone up there.
His cabin might give me a lead on his location. Can you help me find a way in?
No, this town takes care of its own. Our problems are ours, no one else's.
I'm really sorry to hear about your and Magnus's breakup.
It hardly matters anymore.
I don't want to pry, but if you want to talk about it, I'm here.
Here's one for your case file. I've known Magnus all my life. We dated 4 years. The winters are long and dark. We found each other in that darkness. But then, he went through hard times. He became obsessed over the ship. His world narrowed. And soon, there was no room left for me. That's the end of it.
So you and Soren work together?
Yes, we both run the festival. But people are not happy. They dislike him.
I'm definitely sensing some of that. Why?
Not one of us. He doesn't know our stories. No shared memories.
He mentioned that you've been kind to him.
Being his friend has a price here. You're either outside or inside in Skiprot. You cannot stand in the doorway. You will be driven out. We are not like Reykjavik, like a big city.
Sounds like people are trying to get rid of him. Ruining the festival would be a great way to do that, wouldn't it?
Your words, not mine. Regardless, he is welcome in my home and at my pub. I cannot always go against the town, but I can offer a warm meal and a listening ear.
Did Gunnar do anything unusual leading up to the festival?
Well, if you include the 2 festivals before this one, certainly. He ruined them single-handedly. Aside from that, only the usual threats. Gunnar swore he'd tie Magnus up and send him out to sea. Gunnar hates Magnus.
You spend a lot of time here. Don't you have somewhere else to be?
No, I'm still on festival duty. In case of a ship emergency, I'm responsible. This vessel is an antique. Things break suddenly, and it's hard to hear the alarm from the harbor.
I see. Interesting. Later.
Bless.
So here, when you try snoop in the bag, you press the alarm thing. It makes a second chance save game file, but I've never been able to actually get caught.
Huh.
We should try to get caught.
Yeah,
Hello?
that's interesting.
Hello?
I had no idea that was even
No one's
possible.
there.
Magnus? Magnus, is that you?
Guess again.
Uh-oh.
Who is this?
Wait, I can explain. I didn't know he was going to go missing, and okay, so I haven't filled out all the daily logs for the guy in months, and yes, okay, so I napped through all of the training videos, but I didn't mean to, and I guess what I'm saying is please don't fire me.
I'm not here to fire you.
So you're not working with my boss?
Nope.
Oh man, that's a relief. Well then, this is Control Tower number 32, Operator Alex Lintrong speaking.
Hi, Alex. I'm Nancy. I'm a detective trying to find out more about Magnus.
Magnus. He's gone, isn't he? I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to get in trouble.
What did you hear?
Some pretty messed up stuff. I don't know if I can tell you.
Why not?
Whoever took him, they might come after me too. And if my boss finds out someone went missing on my watch and I didn't report it, look, I need this internship. If I get fired here, I'll be a barista until I die. I'm allergic to coffee, man. I can't go back. I can't go back to that life.
Alex, slow down and stay calm. I need your help. If what you're saying is true, Magnus might be in serious danger. Tell me what you heard, and it'll stay between the 2 of us.
Okay, I heard Magnus calling in early morning, same as always, just to say hi around 6. Then we started chatting, just like we always do. He was excited about the ship he was piloting. He said it was his baby. He started pulling into Skiprot Harbor. I heard a voice on board, I mean. He went to go check it out, left the radio on. I heard shouting, fighting, then nothing. Just silence.
That's not good. I think this investigation just went from missing persons to abduction.
It's dark out there, and the water's cold. But I know he didn't go on his own. That's why I'm keeping my head down.
Could you hear anything Magnus said?
Something about the ship. That's all I got. Just a lowly undergrad, assigned to a cubicle, a pair of headphones, and a computer. I'm here on an internship for my maritime psychology degree. My parents said I'd never find a paying job. Shows them. Me and Magnus, we were kind of buddies. I mean, we never met or anything, but whenever he'd radio in, he always wanted to chat. Not a lot of people want to chat with the intern.
Are you from around here?
Nope. Massachusetts.
So, what are you doing here?
Whoa. Deep. I gotta think about that one. I mean, what are any of us doing in this crazy, messed up world, you know?
No, I mean in Iceland, in a control tower, that stuff.
Oh, that. I work in the harbor controller's office. I keep track of ship movement and speak with anyone taking a ship to harbor in Iceland.
What can you tell me about Magnus?
He's totally weird. Good weird. Not serial killer weird. He's one of those people who rarely speaks, but when they do, it's the most interesting thing you've heard in days. He bottles up thoughts and distills them.
Oh, interesting. What on earth is a maritime psychology degree?
I have a 30-page thesis answering exactly that question, but it can all be boiled down to 2 words.
That's all
Sailor
Nancy
feeling.
can say.
Oh, interesting.
That seemed like
Whole
exactly the same
conversation.
repeat as well.
I know,
What
right?
did you mean by daily logs earlier?
There are these logs I'm supposed to fill out whenever a vessel passes through us.
So, are they filled out?
Kind of. I turned one sheet into an homage to my relationship with my mom, another into this super cool drawing of a whale. I haven't been keeping tabs on vessels as well as I should be.
How cool are we talking?
The coolest! I actually stapled it to my cubicle wall, and regardless, I don't have any records of Magnus going through our waters.
Have you met Dagny?
Is that the super mercenary one? Always freezing, kinda sassy?
Sounds like her.
She used to call me all the time. Always tried to get information about Magnus's plans to come in and out of harbor. Joke's on her. I'm so disorganized I can't match my sock colors, let alone keep records of Magnus's charting. She always wanted to know when he'd be gone. I never told her, obviously.
What was she trying to do in his absence?
No clue. But I did some internet stalking on her, one of my many talents. I found out she's wanted in the States for skimming some cash off a treasure find in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, that explains why she's been hanging around in Iceland, I guess. Can you tell me about Elizabeth?
Ah, the infamous Seta.
Seta?
It means cutie.
Oh, a pet name.
I know, total barf, right? The hours I spent listening to that guy alternatively complain about her and pine for her. I could write novels. Talk about star-crossed lovers.
They've broken up now.
Yeah, that's the last thing he told me before he went missing. You know, the longer I talk, the more suspicious that sounds.
What do you know about Soren?
That guy who runs the festival?
Yes.
He's worked with us a few times. Always seems like there's something just under the surface with that one. Cheerful and yet angry. Or bitter. Like he was holding something back. They say Icelanders never forget a grudge.
They do.
And by they, I actually just mean me.
Any other information for me?
Not really. Mostly I just kick it in this cubicle and keep my tall ship's lifestyle blog updated. It's called Ship Facts. Want to hear about it?
Well, sure. Educate me.
Okay. Ship Fact. The forecastle on a ship refers to the upper forward deck of a sailing ship, but it's pronounced forecastle.
Why is that?
Try pronouncing it like an English sailor with no formal education. Forecastle. Forecastle. Over time it whittled down. Get it?
Hey, that's pretty neat. I need a way to distract someone on board this ship.
So you can do what exactly?
Snoop through their stuff?
Hey, at least you're honest about it. Acceptance is the first step to healing. Yeah, I can help.
What do I name your price?
There's a lighthouse near Skipbrook. You can probably see it from town. But the light's busted right now. If you can get up there and fix that light, it means I can stay here at HQ with my cup of tea and giant snuggle blanket.
I'll give it a whirl.
My cell number is 978-555-0139. Give me a call when you're standing in front of the light. I'll tell you what to do next.
I'll let you go.
Talk to you later.
Even her character's really well written, like the dialogue's entertaining.
Know. For real. And I was also thinking about like how good they do at establishing who Magnus is too, even though we never meet him or talk to him before this point, but it's like you get such a strong idea of who he is. It's just really good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really good.
Also, I kept looking at the little keyhole over here that doesn't have a hole for a key. Things I've never noticed before. Oh. Okay.
It's out of gas. No dice. That should do it for the fuel tank.
And can I say too, I'm obsessed with.
I'm not a big fan of exploring caves in the dark. I'll need a light source.
I'm obsessed with the ambience in the ice caves.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Like, it just sounds freezing and heavy and almost like you can hear the reverberations of the wind. It's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
I remember reaching this point in the game and just feeling like, I don't know, just excited. I was like, there's so much more to explore. Like, we get ice caves and we get a cabin.
I know, it's so exciting.
I guess he would lock his front door.
Yeah, outside of this cabin is the one place you can see like the graphics don't hold up, that repeating sky texture.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you look at the cabin, you see just the cut mountain in front of it.
So true, especially compared to everything else in the game. It's like extra
Yeah.
noticeable. And yeah, even like the snow here, it's like not sitting on the environment. It's just kind of like
It looks
Yeah, it's
like
very
it was.
Photoshop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like it was touched up in Photoshop.
right. There we go.
It's working. Don't know whose boat this is, but I'll just borrow it for a little while. Well, I made it to the top. Better give Alex a call.
Let me do this riveting game of 2048.
Okay, I'm in the lighthouse.
Awesome. I can remote the power from here, but I'm going to need you to get all the pieces in place first. One of our staff programmers wrote a new idiot-proof failure mechanic for it. Anyways, I think you need to mix the color channels to create white light. When all of the channels are white, the light will power back on.
This process sounds anything but simple.
Yeah, exactly. That's programmers for you. Give it a whirl and give me a call if you get stuck.
I need to create white light to get the lighthouse running again.
Another place where the puzzle and also the graphic design don't really go together.
That's fair. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they programmed this whole interface into this with like nice animations to turn on a lighthouse.
And like the water background and everything.
I like the implication that they didn't have one of their graphic designers do the graphic design for this puzzle. That they just made the programmer do everything. Perhaps. Yeah. Oh god, I'm messing it up. No, I meant to go the other way.
What does
This-
annoy me with this one is how it resets the whole thing.
Yeah, it can take forever. I genuinely did not think I was ever gonna beat this on senior. Like, I had such a hard time with it.
Yeah, they should have made it just subtract 1 level if you get it back.
Right. Ugh, I always want them to, like, move a different way than they do. A me problem, but... Shit. Okay.
Phew, fixed it. Time to phone Alex.
But yeah, on senior, they have an extra, like, 2 levels, I think. And oh my god, it's
Oh, wow.
so hard.
Jeez.
Woohoo! Thanks, you saved my butt.
Glad I could help.
Okay, let's talk about stealing stuff.
I prefer the term snooping.
Whatever, Klepto.
The textures in here are really good.
I got one. There's an alarm hidden
Yeah.
in Mrs. Captain's chair.
Back in the wheelhouse?
Yep. Hopefully you're using it for the forces of good, but hey, no judgment.
Ugh.
Uh-oh, that's not good. The windows are open. Oh, it's so cold. I need to get out of here. Okay, small numbers at the bottom, big
Oh
number
my
at the top.
gosh.
It looks like the pieces add to
Back to back to
Yeah.
back, I know. I'm pausing right now because I've screenshotted it and I'm looking at it.
Yeah, the timed puzzle just after that other one as well.
Again, that's, like, probably my biggest issue with it.
Yeah, it's kind of all or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers aren't even centered in some of the boxes. It's so bad. Yeah.
Also, again, it does not make sense why you'd have this here.
Nope.
the total of the piece above them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
one
I'm
of the
always
things.
drawn to the treasure hunt games, like Shadow Ranch and all that, because it's not just puzzles for the sake of puzzles. Like the puzzles
Yeah.
make sense in a context. Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason that these puzzles are here. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off, Cameron.
No, I was just saying one of the things I liked about the Riven, the sequel to Myst, is that every puzzle makes sense in the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's either where to the people in the world it's not a puzzle, so it's like in their language, so it's a puzzle for you to figure out, but it's not a puzzle for them. Or it's where something used to work in a certain way and now it's broken and you have to find a new solution for that. So it all makes sense.
I feel like this puzzle especially, it's like, okay, you just came out of one, you just finished one, and then You just finished 2, and then you come here, and then you see this monstrosity just covered in numbers, and you're like nothing about this looks fun.
Yeah. And the added time limit as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She, like, dialogued too. But, yeah.
The colors are also really bad.
Yeah, the colors are
The
great.
colors are, like, crazy.
Like everything about this is just designed to confuse you.
Yeah. Oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, what am I doing? There.
Oh, that was too close. And somehow, I have a feeling it wasn't an accident.
Okay.
The lighthouse beam also being consistent across the frames is really good.
Yeah. Okay.
I have nothing.
Oh. Alarm.
Yeah. So he had actually, this is where it makes a second chance save game. And I've never been
Interesting.
able to get it to actually catch me.
Huh. That's interesting.
Can you go back into where the alarm was set off?
Elizabeth must
Yeah, I
have
think so.
locked it.
Hold on.
What on earth is in here? This must be the key to Magnus's cabin. I'll just be borrowing this. I have a feeling Elizabeth never opened her gift. 4 crystals of each color, huh?
Ooh, now those crystals, that is a puzzle that I could do endlessly. Just give me a never-ending stream of that.
Yeah, that is a fun one. Even though it's technically Sudoku, just with crystal colors instead. I still like
I mean,
it.
I see what you're saying, but for me, I don't even have to use my brain when I use that puzzle because it's so visual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it, because it's just kind of fun. I just get to click and watch it come together.
These must be the sounding charts from Magnus's notebook.
Yeah.
I need to find those numbers and the
No numbers.
he mentioned.
Yep, exactly. That's my favorite tune. No numbers. Okay, so I have that. I have. Okay.
I have a space bubble.
I could use a little space, Nancy.
That is my favorite one because I'm like, your job is retail. Your customer service. He's just like, excuse me.
No, that's his private office.
Oh yeah, the cabin, right. That's what I'm doing. Get this weird call with Ned over with. This one is so strange.
Nancy, it's me. Are you busy right now?
Just a little. Why?
Oh no, no reason. Just checking in. Just wanted to make sure you were alive and stuff. And you totally are. That's great.
Ned, you sound funny. Are you okay?
Nancy, everything's fine. Everything's normal. I'm just doing normal people stuff, you know? Normal.
I'm just getting a strange vibe.
No, listen. I just wanted to tell you about something.
Ned.
Sorry. I just,
Please, tell me what's wrong.
I'm fine, I promise. Nothing's wrong.
Dude, give me the phone.
No!
This is just embarrassing.
Bert, stop! Come on!
It's just
Ned.
Frank Hardy doing a different
Ned?
voice again.
What on earth is going on?
Like, I still don't quite understand what that phone call was. Yes. I am all for, like, photo contests and things like that, but please don't make it meta like this. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's like aged from the early 19.
Yeah, and it has the actual
Yeah.
game in the photo.
Yeah,
Right.
that doesn't
That's
help.
my problem. That's my problem with it. Like, this could not conceivably exist in this universe. So why am I looking at it?
That coin above,
Images are for.
Right. Then I would have been okay.
the coin you just took above the door had me so stuck the first time.
It's tricky. They really tried to be
A
sneaky.
dog bed, but no dog?
That's good.
Dog toys?
It'd be
This
bad if there was
must
a
be
dog
related
locked
to
in
the milk
here.
Magnus made for
Oh,
himself.
I know. For real. It is so puzzle heavy. I know. It's, again, it's the worst part about this game for me, because the puzzles don't really make sense in universe a lot of the time. Again, with the graphic design, but yeah,
I do enjoy most of them, but yeah, it doesn't really
right.
fit.
Like, if you're looking for consistency and logic, then this isn't it. Yeah, it's so true. It's like, why is she deciding to do this spontaneously, you know? Because I wouldn't be doing it. If I
Also,
didn't know that there was a goal.
what kind of detection system does he have to know where the toys are to open the drawer?
Yeah, that's also true. Is it like weight based? And how does that work? Does he have like pressure pads?
It's just like a marvel of technology in his cabin.
Yeah. I know. It really does. Whenever people need to leave, I guess.
Yeah, I'll probably head out soon.
Yeah, we honestly
getting-
probably should, because as I said, I do have other things to get done today, so.
Yeah, I
But
have like 10 more minutes max anyway.
Yeah, I want to get through this puzzle, and maybe I'll do my fun crystal one quick, but then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, it's nearly 10:30 for me. 10:30 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. We will wrap up.
Yeah, this would have even been better if they had have just made like the animals and things 3D models, so that it actually looked like you were placing toys.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, oh my god, no, I have it wrong. Oh no, what did I mess up? No! Oh wait, no, I didn't.
But if you think of
right.
something like Camille's dolls in Last Train, there also isn't like any way that it really makes sense technically, like how it would work, other than
Yeah.
maybe weight. But then it just feels so much more real because it is like in the world.
Agreed.
You mean in the boat? Yeah, it didn't look too bad to me.
Yeah, I feel like that looks a
What
little
is
more
interesting,
homogenous than this.
yeah, what
it
is
goes-
interesting with that one is it can
actually
actually be solved. Yeah, what's interesting with that book one is it can be solved in multiple ways,
Yeah.
but then there's only like one victory like setup image for when you do solve it. So even if you solved it in a
Ooh,
different way,
yeah,
all
I
the
remember
books
that.
suddenly like rotate.
I wonder if anyone else has seen these.
Yeah, and it like auto rearranges itself. But
Yeah.
Mrs. Drake's plants do that too.
It'd be so much work to make like a different render for all the possibilities, though.
Oh,
I guess.
I know, right? It'd be a nightmare. Okay, key to the toys on carrier on the ship. The barnacles away. I also think it's funny, this like era where it's just people writing notes to each other back and forth on a piece of paper.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in Silent Spy as well.
Uh-huh. And even Labyrinth of Lies a little bit. Okay.
A spare luggage key, huh?
That's the sort of thing I like when the dialogue points something out that's important in the text so that you don't just skip over it.
These must belong with
Yeah,
the blueprints I saw
that's so
earlier.
true.
4 of each color down and across. No 3 together in a line.
All right, let's go. Literally. This is my absolute favorite. It's just so relaxing.
This one actually also looks much nicer graphically.
Yeah.
Even though the numbers and stuff could have been done better.
Yeah, the numbers definitely could have been better. But yeah, I kind of like the way the crystals look. Oh, wait, hang on. There.
What doesn't quite make sense to me are those little strings or lines or whatever it is coming off of the crystals.
The edges, yeah.
Yeah. Like, is that supposed to be what's holding them there, or...
Maybe? Yeah, I don't know. That might have been the intention, but who knows? Which one did I mess up? I was rushing.
There's a row just one down, or two down. 5/3.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay. Oh well. Just the loveliest music.
Got it. Oh, this is beautiful.
I actually like the music box puzzle better on Senior.
I need to arrange these pieces to see what the full image looks like.
So
Anyway.
many puzzles.
Yeah, this one, luckily, though, is just like a,
That was
collect
not
stuff
hard.
as you go.
Okay,
That
I think I
sounds
need
right.
to get going.
Yep, I was about to call it a wrap. I don't know if I can get these in place right now anyway. There we go. Save it again. There we go. Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for joining, guys.
Yeah, thanks. That was fun.
Yeah.
It definitely was. We
that
will
was
for
so much
sure have
fun.
to do this again.
Yeah, definitely.